Hey, Jason.
Hey, Chrissy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Business Between the Lines.
Guys, welcome back. This is going to be a special mini-series, a Between the Seasons mini-series where we look back on all the incredible moments from the first season of the show as we gear up for the launch of Season 2 of Business Between the Lines that's coming in early November.
Yes, we're going to start with some of our favorite ones. And the first one that we have for you today is our episode 5. We had Mack Glover with Aero Pass Service on the show, and he shares with us some amazing moments. I think some of my favorite ones all come around that whole attitude that some people have and some people don't. Maybe it's a good attitude, bad attitude. But with Mack, he's always loved that persona of this is my job, no matter what it is, wherever you're at, and all of the things that open up to you when you start taking that kind of an attitude.
Yeah, he's got this attitude around, hey, in this moment, it's my goal to be a benefit to the people that are around me, even if I don't perceive them being a benefit to me. And I love that about him.
Yeah, so you're going to want to watch this again and catch any of our other shows while you're waiting for the great launch of Season 2. Stay tuned. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Christy.
Hey, Mack.
What's up?
And welcome back, everyone, to ESPN Northwest Florida's newest radio station, Business Between the Lines. We are joined today by both of our very, very good friend, Mack Glover with
Mack Attack.
Mack Attack with
Right on.
Aero Pest Service. And the one thing that I really, when we were talking about this show and bringing in different themes and stuff like that, one of my peeves came up, and one of my peeves is when somebody says, that's not my job. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of you out there have heard that. Some of you have probably said it. That's okay. We're not holding it against you. But
you
today,
can improve. You can get better. There's hope.
Yes.
But when we were thinking about this, nobody else came to mind higher than Mack, and just the way that he goes through life and the things that he does in his business, personally, professionally, and just always stepping out there and just doing whatever is called upon us, and just the opportunities and the values that open up from that. So tell us a little bit about what makes Mack tick and share with us some stories.
You know what, Christy? When you say it's not my job, that's one thing that I absolutely hate to hear that, because that's a reflection on somebody's attitude.
Yes.
Yeah.
And somebody's attitude is always going to reflect how they think, how they see things, how they react to different things. And, when they say, it's not my job, I'm saying, well, you need to change your attitude.
Yeah.
Because if you change your attitude, then it's going to change your whole outlook. It's going to change your life. And you know what? And so I've always had the inner responsibility inside of me that said, you know what? I'm responsible for my own attitude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not my circumstances. I can't blame it on you or my wife or anything else. I have a choice to make about my attitude. And so I chose to do that. And so now that was what makes me tick. As I just, every morning I wake up and say, I choose to have the right attitude no matter what I face today, whatever comes at me, I'm going to have the right attitude. And if I always have the right attitude, then everything's going to work out just fine.
Yeah, and stuff, the world opens up, and things that you would have missed out on come your way when you do that, when you change your attitude. And when you're teaching people and you're talking to them, it's easy for me to sit up here and say, okay, I teach you that everybody, no matter what your job title is, everybody is the janitor, everybody's a salesperson, everybody is the admin, whatever that company needs to make things work, whatever our families need to make things work, it's all of our responsibility. I was raised that way, thank goodness. Jason and I were talking about this earlier, that my dad did not raise us that the man or the boys in the family take out the trash and the girls do the cooking. That was not how it was. He taught us how to change our tires and change our oil. And we were very diverse. And so that thought process of it's not my job has never been in my mind. But the first time I heard it, I was just like, dude, where did you come from, and what is wrong with you?
I guess whenever you're looking at it's not my job, it's really, you have to say, how can I serve, be a servant in this area? And that's the mentality or the attitude that we must have in any area of our life, if it's our marriage, if it's our job, if it's, we're out on the street or whatever it is, how can I be of value to this situation? Okay.
Right.
It may not be my job to take out the trash, but I'm going to serve this company the best of my ability. I remember whenever after the Hurricane Michael in 2018, everything's wrecked, and I get a call to go out to a lady's house, and I knock on the door, and she says, "Who is it?" And I said, "It's Mack with Aero Pest Service," and she opens the door and she says, "I didn't call a pest control guy." And I thought to myself, okay. And she said, "Look at my house. Look at the sheetrock that's falling down. I need somebody to take care of this." And I said, "Well, ma'am, I'm a pest control guy. We don't do that." And then she started breaking down, and I said, "Okay, whoa, hold on a second. Don't totally freak out on me." I'm like, "Okay, I know somebody." So I got my phone out. I'm like, "Hold on a second. I got my phone out." Yeah, I said, "Yeah, I know a guy, and we're gonna get you in contact." And then she said, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it." And so anyway, after that, I looked at her and I could see the doom and the gloom all over her. And before I left, I said, "Listen, ma'am, I don't know where you are in your walk with God. I don't know what you believe." I said, "But can I pray with you?" And she said, "Absolutely." So I prayed with her. I grabbed her by the hands and I just prayed a really simple prayer. And then I left. I said, "Now, if you need anything else, you just let me know." Okay. Well, the guy that went over there to fix all the sheetrock and clean everything up, he told her that I was also a pastor. Okay. Yeah. And I don't go and I don't tell everybody that. I just go and I just try to serve. I had the right attitude about it. Yeah. Well, that Sunday at church, I'm standing at the front door. And guess who drives up in our parking lot? Okay, now mind you, this drive was from Lynn Haven to Walsall. So it was over a 30-minute drive. This lady had to drive. She pulls up, and I looked at her, and I said, "Kim Sullivan." She said, "You remembered my name?" Yeah. And she broke down and cried. I'm like, "Of course I remembered your name." And she says, "Wow, that guy, why didn't you tell me you was a pastor?" I said, "Well, I don't normally do that." I said, "But I just wanted you to know that somebody cared." So anyway, after the service, she came up to me. She said, "You have no idea what you meant to me," because I'd already made up my mind that if nobody showed up that day, that I was going to take a bunch of pills and I was going to die. I was just done with it. I had so much stress. Nobody cared. Nobody was like coming around and helping me. And she said, "You came and you helped me." And I thought to myself, right. What if I would have came in with the attitude that she's a number, she's an account, she's a dollar bill, but I said,
and
"No,
I can't make anything off because she wasn't needing my services."
She wasn't benefiting me, but I looked and I said, "How can I benefit her?" And so when I prayed for her, and she said, "I felt so much peace when you prayed." And I'm like, you know what? I didn't feel the building shake, and I didn't see a light, and I didn't hear no thunder or anything, but God came in and did something. And all because I believe the attitude that I went in there with, that I chose to have, because we were all dealing with pressure at that point, that I looked at her and I said, "This lady has value. She has worth. She is significant in my eyes. And so the only thing that I know to do is I'm going to pray with you." And you know what? We are still friends today. Yeah. She texts me. Matter of fact, she texted me last week. She called me last week. And she always is telling me, "Thank you for not just walking away and saying, it's not your job."
And something that simple, you just never know what opportunities are going to arise or what value you can bring into somebody's life.
Yes.
If you just keep stepping back. And it's easy to say that was an amazing story, and we're probably not all going to have those moments.
Yes.
But even in the littlest, simplest tasks that we go about in our daily lives, when we're at work, say you're a waitress and you're in your job and you're just doing your job, and something else happens and you're like, "You know what? Let me take care of that. Let me fix that. Let me pick up that." Your boss is going to see that, and you're going to level up. These people that say, "I can't get anywhere in life, I can't move up, nobody pays attention," it's just because you're in your box and you're closed to opportunities that are around you because of that mentality of saying, "It's not my job." Open yourself up. Take out the trash.
Can I leave just with one little quote?
Absolutely.
Winston Churchill said, "Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference." Okay. Yeah. And that's what we're called to be and called to do, is to make a difference in somebody's life. So if we have the right attitude, the right perspective, and we say, everything is my job when it's placed in front of me because I want to make a big difference in somebody else's life, make an impact. That's cool,
that
ain't it?
ripple effect, you know?
Yeah, baby. Yes.
You throw that stone out there and it
Yes.
just keeps happening and it just keeps growing and it just
Yes.
keeps touching other people and stuff. And
So
you just-
good. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, doing your job is really just the status quo. If you want to be more than the status quo,
Man.
you've got
Yes.
to step out and serve somebody else. Like I actually used to be a janitor at 2 different places, and anytime I saw somebody taking out their own trash at their desk, oh my gosh. It only takes me 2 seconds to do it, but man, it makes my day every single time.
Right?
Right.
And you look at them in a different light
Yeah.
from that simple little thing
Right.
that they did.
That's good.
It's like, don't be afraid to try.
Exactly. Great note to end on. Mac, thanks so much.
Man,
for
thank
being
you.
a part
Thank
of
you
this
so
episode.
much.
Absolutely.
Guys,
Love
thanks
it.
so much for listening to this segment with Mac. Guys, stay tuned in. After this commercial break, Christy and I are going to be right back to deliver more value and keep on talking about how you can be better than the person that says, that is not my job. Because even if it's not your job,
Do it.
do it.
Yes.
Serve the people that are around you. We'll see you soon.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, Christy.
And everyone, welcome back. I'm going to say it again.
Back
wow.
to back.
Wow. Every time we have somebody on here, I keep saying I'm going to come in and I'm going to say, welcome back to ESPN Business Between Lines. And then, wow,
Oh
just
my gosh.
hangs out of my mouth. We just had Mack Glover. If you missed it, you got to back it up and listen
Pause
to
it right
his
now
segment.
and just back up and
Right.
watch it.
With Aero Pest Service, and he shared an amazing story. And our theme today is on It's Not My Job.
That is not my job.
And all of this comes back to if you stop with that attitude, the opportunities that open up to you, the
Oh, yeah.
world of possibilities, the value that other people start seeing in you just from little things. And if you've ever been told that by anyone, you know, you feel it. You know what I'm
It just
talking
crawls
about.
all over you.
Yeah. And if you're one of those ones that have said it, listen up, because there is a lot out there that you're missing out when you keep yourself in a box and just do your 9 to 5, just do your morning to evening, your routine, and
Exactly.
don't break out of that.
If all you ever do is your job, then you're only ever doing what is expected of you, which isn't that extraordinary at all.
No.
The ability to just do what you're told is pretty average.
So a really key little story that kind of comes to mind when Mack was talking was, when he was talking about, doing extra stuff and going that extra mile and not even having someone ask you about, hey, can you do this or something like that, but actually just being so open that you see things that need to happen. So I was at Girl Scouts, I was doing a training thing, and I went into the restroom and it was a little bit of a mess. There was some paper towels on there, and you could tell that
a little bit.
a younger girl was probably in there and probably needed to have some more help than what she got. And so there was water all over the sink and counter and stuff. And there was this little sign next to it that said, leave your environment better than what you found it. And I immediately, right then, just picked up some paper towels and wiped everything down. I felt so good about doing that, but I took that with me. That wasn't something that I had to keep telling myself. That struck such a verb in me that I do that all the time now. I mean, that's like a natural habit because it did feel so good. And it just, I don't know, I guess I was in the right place, the right time, the right mental attitude, that when I read that sign, I was just like, you know what? Yes, yes. Leave it better than how we found it. Don't walk away. Don't just, do yours and be like, step over the paper towel that's on the floor and stuff. Do that little bit extra. There was nobody around. There was nobody to acknowledge. No, but it did. It really changed my attitude in that day, and I just smile for the rest of the day. Just me, myself.
Because it makes you feel even better than if it was a thing where somebody saw you do it. Because in your heart, and you're like, okay, no, it was a pure thing. Like
I
I
didn't
know
do it for
nobody,
anyone else but
no
me.
one else is gonna see it.
Right.
And I remember, and I know I mentioned this, whenever we were on the, on air just now with Mac, but I'll kind of expound on it a little bit more. I've had 2 different jobs where I was a janitor, and I had so many times where I walk in to go and mop the floor, or I go in to vacuum, or go and take out the trash, and somebody already did that thing. Somebody, because I was a janitor at a church where, somebody just went in that one classroom, somebody already vacuumed it. I'm like, man,
Wow.
they just saved me like 5 minutes. Like this is really nice, especially if I'm real tired, maybe not in a good mood, and I see somebody else did it, or somebody took out their trash, that was at their desk, and it makes my absolute day. I ended up growing a lot of the relationships with the people that I was the janitor for, because they would just go the extra mile. It was a huge service.
Yeah,
to me.
and you want to know those people. You want to get to know those
Yeah.
people. So
And
there's
employers want to promote those people and give those people raises because
Yeah.
they can trust them.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so step up there. But there's this other story, and you have to really tune in on this, because I'm going to throw
This is really, really good.
some words out there that it's going to cause that what's that, who's on first, who's on second, all that. Yeah, this is kind of like one of those, but just hear the words. There's this story about 4 people named everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody. There was an important job to be done, and everybody was sure somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it's everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody wouldn't do it. It ended up that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could have done. Right?
That's good.
It's just kind of one of those, sink that in. You might even have to back it up and listen to it again. But anybody can do anything around us. So
Yeah.
that concept of it's not my job, it's just not relevant. You
Exactly.
are in any position, personally or professionally. We are everything to everybody, and you have so many more opportunities if you take on that mentality. If you're at your job and you have somebody that's specifically to take out the trash, and you see that they're busy and you go and take it out, you're just leveling yourself up. You're just being that much more awesome.
Exactly.
And so many more opportunities are going to come your way when you do that.
Yeah, or anytime you're walking down the street, you're walking down the hallway at your office, and something was dropped. There's the piece of paper on the ground. There's the bottle, the whatever. Cleaning that up and taking care of it. Or anytime that a coworker of yours, or a family member, heck, your husband or your wife is just going through some stuff, and it's just a rougher day. If you know that they have some kind of a task list, and you know that you can do something on that task list, then
Don't
do
wait
it.
to be asked.
It might not be your job. Like my wife and I with our chores. There are certain things that I kind of generally take care of, and certain things that she takes care of. But then the best way that we can serve each other is if I know that she's just real tired and she was having a rough day, then take care of it. And for instance, like last night we were preparing to make a long drive right after we got off work. And I texted her and telling her, like, babe, I am so exhausted. I've been getting really, really bad sleep. Is there any way that you can get, my bag, packed up and stuff? And whenever I went in, she had cleaned the entire house, done all of my chores, had done all the laundry, and had gotten all this stuff up while she was also working from home. She was like just making it all happen, burned her entire lunch break on getting the stuff together so that as soon as I got home, we could just
Right.
grab the bags and hop in the car. And it meant the absolute world to me.
50-50 relationship. It's in everything. And if you are sitting there stuck in your personal relationships, if you're sitting there and you're stuck in your job and you're wondering, why am I not advancing? Why am I not going further? Why is this relationship not blooming or blossoming? Stop. Check out our episode with Erica Harrison.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Jeez.
some of those will play right into this, but stop and look inside of yourself and how your behaviors are and how your actions are and what is it that you're doing to make your surroundings and your environment better. When you start within and start being a better person around and get rid of that it's not my job mentality, your relationships are going to get better. Your job is going to get better. It's just the way it happens. So if you don't believe me, try it. Trust me. I mean, just what's it going to hurt, to take out the trash, or what's it going to hurt to help somebody pick up a tray, or your spouse comes home and you take on whatever their normal responsibilities or routine is and you do that for them. What's it really going to hurt?
Yeah. Look, we all have this desire inside of us, I believe, where we want to be an asset to those around us. And sometimes you don't really know, like, well, how can I help those around me? Doing the very simple tasks that are technically their job, if you take on that helps them a ton. Or if you don't even know whose job it is, it's going to have an effect. Like, most of the people, whenever I was a janitor that take out their own trash, they don't even know my name. They've never even seen me. I come in after they leave. But they had a huge impact. And if you're one of those people, thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. It made my job a lot easier. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Business Between the Lines.
Yes.
Huge shout out and thank you to all of our sponsors that make this show happen. And then also, if you guys want to be, if anybody listening to this wants to be a community guest on our show and hop in and share your story and share some educational tidbits, then reach out to the page, Business Between the Lines. That's the best way to get in contact with us. Thanks so much for listening to this episode, Business Between the Lines. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, Christy.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that the second time around as much as I did. Well, for me, I think I've watched his episode probably about 4 or 5 times. My favorite part of my takeaway that I got from that is, who do you know? The power of taking responsibility for that moment that you're in and helping them out through that without thinking about, oh, this is my responsibility, this is not my responsibility, this is my job, this is not my job. But just taking that moment and just dealing with what's happening right then and taking responsibility for it.
Yeah. Mack really teaches inside of his episode about being in the moment and serving the people that are around you. So guys, thanks for watching this episode of Business Between the Lines. Be sure to tune in next week. We're going to have Karen White on. We're going to have her recap of Karen White's episode and all the amazing things that we learned with the messy is wonderful thing that she's doing. So be sure to tune in next week as we continue with the Business Between the Lines, Between the Seasons mini-series, gearing up for the season 2 launch of Business Between the Lines coming in early November. See you guys next week.